Hi, I'm Barbara Seelig Brown. Welcome to Stress Free Cooking. Today we'll be grilling some chicken, and we'll also be making some great side dishes to go with our grilled chicken. These side dishes are very versatile, and as we go through the recipes, we'll talk about what else you can use them for. Let's start with pounding some chicken, okay? So we're gonna take some boneless, skinless chicken breast. And when I used to teach a lot of cooking classes, I used to get asked the question, how do you know what to trim away from the chicken? And my standard answer was, you trim away whatever you don't think you want to eat. So there's a tiny little bit of, I don't want to say fat, but it is fat there, okay? So this is really pretty clean. And sometimes you'll buy chicken breast on sale and it won't be so clean, so you might have to do a little work yourself. But when I pound chicken breast, I like to do it between 2 sheets of parchment paper. And so if you look at the chicken breast, you have a shiny side and then you have this rough side. This is the skin side where the skin was. And that's our presentation side as well. So when we cook it, we put the presentation side in the pan first. And when we pound it, we're also gonna pound on the top where the skin was because it's gonna stay together a little bit better. So we'll cover this with another sheet of parchment. And then we take our flat meat pounder, or in Italian, this is called battacarne. And it's a flat meat pounder instead of the meat pounder that has the little spikes in it. I like this better because we don't put holes in the chicken, so it'll stay a little bit juicier. So all we do is start in the center of the chicken breast and start giving it a little whack. And you work your way to the outside of the chicken breast. And the reason for doing this is simply to get even thickness, so when I grill it, saute it, roast it, whatever I'm gonna do to it, it cooks more evenly,
right,
okay?
Makes sense.
So this one's all done, and I'm gonna let you give it a try. Okay. So here's your...
Trim this first?
Yes, good idea. Okay, thank you. And we always get rid of anything that poultry has touched right away for food safety purposes. You can never be too careful.
Okay.
Okay? Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna take this knife away because we're done with it for right now, and I don't want to mistakenly pick this knife up after it's been used to cut the chicken. Oh, perfect.
Beautiful.
Okay, you can actually leave it right there on that sheet of parchment paper, Tom. And we'll put both of them on that sheet of parchment paper, okay? And we're gonna just season this a little for grilling. So if you would take our salt and pepper combination, okay? We're gonna use our fingers and we're gonna just season this liberally with salt and pepper. This is a little bowl that we've blended both salt and freshly ground black pepper in. It's one less step we have to take. Instead of seasoning it first with the salt and then with the black pepper, this is one step. But I also always keep a bowl of salt, pepper, and our blend on my kitchen counter so that when I'm cooking, I don't have to shake a salt shaker or a pepper shaker over my pan or my bowl. Okay? So that looks great. Now we need to just put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on there, just a drop, and then we're gonna rub it in. I'm gonna heat up our grill pan. And then we'll just rub that in so it's evenly coated. And when we're grilling, what we do is we put the extra virgin olive oil or whatever oil of choice you're using on the protein or on the vegetables so that we're not putting oil in this pan. Otherwise, we end up with a lot of smoking. Okay, so we need to let this heat up for a couple of minutes until it really feels hot to me. And this is just an easy way to check it. Some people might splash a little water in it and see if the water dances.
Right.
But you know, we can really tell just by holding our hand over that. This method works with fish, works with beef. We often do filet mignons in our grill pan. You can start them in the grill pan. You can always finish them in the oven. So, you know, in our house, we believe in things being very versatile, which is why we're gonna do a black bean and mango salsa that we can use for a lot of things. So I think the grill pan's hot enough. So I will put these in here, skin side first, presentation side first. I hear that little sizzle that I'm looking for.
We're going to be pairing a salad with this. Is there some reasoning with the citrus in this, with chicken?
Well, chicken is like the little black dress of the kitchen. So you can do so much with chicken. As you know, we have chicken every way, shape, and form. You know, I can grill this chicken. I can pair it with this black bean and mango salsa because I like those flavors. But we're also going to do the fennel red onion orange salad. So there are different flavors in that dish. This is very basic, so anything will go with this.
Okay.
We could also saute this chicken breast and then add some freshly sliced mushrooms and wine and completely change this. So I like to think of chicken as the little black dress of our kitchen. Okay.
We always have chicken breasts in the refrigerator.
Always have them in the freezer, and they defrost really quickly. And that's another thing that's great about boneless, skinless chicken breast. We freeze them individually, so I can take out one or two, and because they're not very dense and not very thick and not very big, they defrost really quick.
Right.
And you have to be careful. Some people try and defrost in a microwave. You really need to keep your eye on it because it'll start to cook. So sometimes just a little bit of lukewarm water to start it and then let it finish to defrost naturally. So I'm going to wash my hands and then we're going to start on our black bean and mango salsa. I think it's time to turn our chicken breast. Yes, they look great. So we have nice golden brown grill marks on the chicken breast. So now, Tom, I think I'm going to move this over, and then we're going to start on the black bean and mango salsa.
Okay.
Okay? This is also a great dish to bring to a party, even an outdoor party, because this doesn't really need much refrigeration. Nothing's really going to spoil in this, so we usually bring it down to the pool.
Right.
Serve it with chips. Serve it with grilled chicken, with steak, with anything that you like. It just happens to be a really nice, handy kind of a thing to have. So we need a big bowl, okay? And we need our black beans in that bowl, a couple pinches of salt and pepper. Let me get rid of this. And we need some lemon juice in here. You could do lemon or lime, whichever your preference is. So I'm going to grab a paring knife and a fork. Now I've washed my lemon, and after you do that, you want to roll it on the counter so you get more juice out of it. Okay. And this has a few seeds in it, so let's grab a strainer. And we'll just put this right over the black beans. Put the fork in there and you squeeze around the fork, you'll get more juice out that way. Okay, so we need to do both of those, Tom.
Okay.
Thank you. And we can use this to discard our lemon in. Great job.
There's a lot of pits in this now.
Yeah, you know, isn't it funny? Sometimes you get a lemon.
Sometimes there's nothing.
Yeah, sometimes there's none. It must be the variety of lemon, but they're never really labeled that way, so you can't be sure what they are. Although I do like Meyer lemons, which are a cross between oranges and lemons.
Okay.
But they're very seasonal and very delicate, so. Okay, here, I'll take this, thank you. We can just put that there. So you can see we got a lot of seeds out of there, which makes it really important to
Right,
do
you
it.
didn't want the seeds in here, of
No,
course.
we
Right.
didn't, unless we were cooking for somebody we didn't like.
Oh, no.
That could be a different story.
You wouldn't do that.
That rarely happens. Cooking's all about love, so it's rare that you would be cooking for somebody you didn't like. So we're gonna take our mango, and as you can see, it's sort of an oval and kind of flat. So we're gonna cut 1/3, and I went a little far there. Cut about 1/3 of the way into the mango, and this one has quite an interesting seed, okay? And cut off both sides. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a small paring knife, and you really shouldn't hold this in your hand. I'm just doing this to show you how to do this. So you can lay it on your counter, score it vertically and horizontally. And the size of your mango dice will depend on how far apart you score the mango. And then you turn it inside out. And it's very easy to cut these off. So what I'm going to do is actually cut them onto my cutting board, because if I decide some of them are too big, I can just give them a rough chop with the chef's knife. So they don't always come out exactly the way you like them, and there's always a solution. It's your kitchen. You can always fix something the way you want it to be. So I'm gonna ask you, Tom, if you want to try the other one.
I don't think I'll put it in my hand. I'm not that good with a knife.
Well, that's actually the better way to do it. So it should be done the way you are doing it. Perfect. I've also seen it just laid out on a fruit tray like that,
Oh, okay.
which I don't think looks great, but I guess some people think it's sort of an interesting way to present a mango. Now, what we do with this is we just trim this and cut off as much as we can. Mangoes have a very flat, very hard pit, and sometimes it's hard to find it. So we're just gonna see what we have here. We'll cut this off. Now, mangoes are a member of the poison ivy family. So some people think they're allergic to mango, and it might be that you're allergic to mango if you're allergic to poison ivy.
Really? I never heard that.
Never heard that?
No.
I didn't regale you with that story?
No, I never knew that.
Okay, so Tom, if you just want to take that knife and just give this all a nice rough chop. There's no real scientific way to do this. And we want nice bite-sized peaches that match the size of our black beans. Okay? Perfect. So let's put that in here with the black beans. And what we have left to do is add some cilantro, or if you don't like cilantro, we can use flat Italian parsley. There are people who say cilantro tastes soapy in their mouth. I happen to like it.
Cilantro, the taste of it?
Yeah, I like it. It's very fresh and very citrusy. Alrighty, great. So I will chop some parsley. So again, we have I'm using flat Italian parsley today, but as I said, cilantro is also a nice addition to this dish. So just a nice rough chop with our chef's knife. A nice addition to this dish, if you're using the cilantro, is to use a little bit of cumin, and that gives it sort of that southwesterny flavor. So this is ready. And the last thing we need to add to this, as far as our vegetables, is some red onion. So I'm gonna chop up a little bit of red onion. So when we're cutting an onion and it's a round piece of vegetable, we want to make it flat. So we'll cut it in half. We're going to save this for our fennel salad. Cut off the stem end, peel it back, and we leave the root end intact. It makes it a little easier to cut it. We're going to do some vertical cuts, some horizontal cuts. And then we're just going to go across, and we get the right size pieces for the job. You want to mix that up a little bit? Okay, and if you want to grab that extra virgin olive oil, you could put a little splash of that in there. Okay, so I think we have everything that we need in the bowl for this. I love to make this black bean and mango salsa a day ahead, several hours ahead. It gives the flavors a chance to blend, and it's a lot more flavorful that way. The other thing that works really well in here, if you can't find a soft mango, because you want to buy a mango that's soft to the touch. When they're hard, they really don't have a lot of flavor. A peach works very well instead of the mango. So a peach and black bean salsa is also really good, especially if you have, in-season peaches that are just really ripe and just really juicy. So we're done with our black bean and mango salsa. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean up, and the next thing we'll do is go on to a fennel, red onion, and orange salad. Cake Bread Cellars was founded in 1973 by Jack and Dolores Cake Bread. It's been famous for its warm, gracious hospitality and unmatched wines. They believe that life's occasions are elevated by good people, good food, and good wine, which flows through everything they do. Sharing these tenets and this journey with us not only brings great joy, but also gives motivation to always look to improve. They take great pride in sharing their family with our families. Oh wow, that is so delicious. I can really taste the floral. I have some peach notes in here.
Well balanced.
It's delicious. For more information about these wines, visit cakebread.com. Our next recipe is going to be a salad that's going to have some red onion, some fresh fennel, some sliced orange, and also some cucumber. And then we'll make a dressing for the salad with fresh orange juice, olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of red wine vinegar. So I think that what's really important for folks to know is proper knife skills. So what we're going to do is just have a quick little knife 101. So we're going to take the cucumber, we're going to cut the end off that we don't want. When you hold the knife, it's like shaking hands with a tennis racket. So you want your hand close to the blade. We're going to put the knife down on the cutting board, and what we do is we push forward, lift up, and pull back. Push forward, lift up, and pull back. It's not this, okay? So push forward, lift up, and pull back, and you get such nice slices that way. Okay, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, and that goes in the salad. And you're right-handed, so you turn it around the
switch
other way.
We do have to switch everything.
That's right. So that cucumber is going to go right in the salad. We're going to do 2 of those actually, so that's a good demonstration of that knife skill. It looks kind of like a train wheel, you know, forward and back. And the other thing is, you can see he's bending his fingers a little bit. You want this kind of an effect on the food so that you don't cut off the end of your finger.
Right, we don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that. I don't think the dish would taste very good. So, okay, I'll let you do that red onion. So we have our red onion that we used part of in the black bean and mango. We're gonna now slice it as opposed to chop it. So we're gonna take off the stem, we're gonna take off the root and the outer layer, and we're just gonna cut it into nice thin slices to go into our salad.
See, I have a little harder time doing that technique with something this thick.
It comes to you. The more you do it, the better you get, right? Great. I think actually we have plenty.
Okay.
Okay, so that's terrific. So since we cut the root and the stem off, it comes apart easily. So we throw that in our salad. If you don't like red onion, you can use any onion you like. You can leave the onion out. You know, as we always say, this is our kitchen, this is home cooking. These are guidelines. Recipes are just ideas, they're guidelines. If we were baking, it would be a different story. You'd really have to follow everything precisely. But since we're making a salad, we can tailor this to whatever we like or don't like. We have to add our fennel to our salad. So fennel it has like that licoricey kind of smell and taste. So I'm gonna cut the bottom of the fennel bulb off. I also love these fronds on the top. They're really pretty, aren't they? So graceful and delicate. So we're gonna put those into the salad, but I'm just gonna cut them up a little smaller. Okay. And I'm gonna take the fennel, and I'm just gonna use the bulb, so I can save these for another use. So we're gonna take this fennel bulb, and we're just gonna give it a nice thin shaving. And why don't you give this a taste and tell us how it tastes?
It tastes like black licorice.
Tastes like licorice, yeah. It's also called anise. There's a liqueur that's made out of fennel called anise. Anisette.
Anisette.
Right, anisette. I happen to love the taste and flavor of black licorice. So I think this is very nice. But, you know, it's not for everybody. If it's not for you, leave it out. This salad would also be nice if you wanted to substitute, say, a black olive for the fennel. I think that would work very well. And I also recommend that when you're following a recipe, whether you've printed my recipes or you have my book, make a note on the recipe that you thought it had too much of this or too little of that, because I develop a recipe that I think tastes good, but my taste may not be yours. So you take the guideline, right? Like sometimes you say to me, oh, I would have left this out or whatever. But again, I really want it to be yours. I want you to enjoy cooking. We want you to have fun in your kitchen. We have fun in our kitchen all the time, especially when we're cooking with our little kids or cooking where Tom's making his extra special wonderful pizza, which we will actually do a show on soon. Okay, so we're gonna peel this orange. Just take the skin off. You wanna make sure you get all the white, because the white part, the pith, this part, can be very bitter. Same with a lemon. But citrus adds such a lift to many dishes. I always keep oranges, lemons, limes in my refrigerator. Okay, so we get all the white off of here. And then I'm gonna take my bigger knife. I'm just gonna slice this.
Is this a seedless orange or a particular kind of orange?
Actually, this is a navel orange.
Okay.
That's a great question, because navel oranges are what you should look for because they don't have any seeds. Okay? So it's a great orange to cook with. Okay, we'll put those in here. Okay, and I love the colors in this dish. We really like cooking with different colors. In fact, when we're shopping, oftentimes we just look at the produce aisle and pick out the colors we like, and then we go home and we create something with just using lots of colorful produce. You really can't go wrong. And of course, rule of thumb with color is the darker the color, the more nutritious it is. So a white lettuce versus a dark green leafy lettuce, the dark green leafy is going to be more nutritious and probably more flavorful too, right? And I know they've tried to bring back the wedge salad. I'm really not sure why. There's really no value to iceberg lettuce. I mean, other than it has a high water content, which you need a lot of water. So we have the salad together. Let's make the dressing. So for this dressing, we have some freshly squeezed orange juice. We're gonna add, my hands are a little wet. I'm gonna let you add a couple pinches of salt and pepper. I need some red wine vinegar. Okay. Let's whisk that up, Tom. And then we're gonna add extra virgin olive oil. Okay, you can keep whisking. So usually it's about 3 times the amount of extra virgin olive oil as acid, and your acid is citrus juice, vinegar. So I try to use a little less oil by using sweeter vinegar or sweeter citrus. So the orange should allow us to cut down on the amount of extra virgin olive oil. But I think we need just a little more. And when you whisk your salad dressing, it stays together longer than if we had shaken it. Okay? I'm gonna grab a couple of tasting spoons. We're gonna give this a little taste.
Good.
Perfect. So it's kind of a sweet tart.
That is good.
Good.
Very good.
Why don't you pour that over the salad? I have a couple of spoons here to toss it with. One of my favorite things is any salad with grilled chicken on top. We'll toss this. Now you remember you want to dress your salad when it's time to serve it, because salad dressings, especially these delicate spring greens, wilt very fast from the vinegar and the oil. So let's clean up, and we're going to plate everything and take a look. Now that all of our dishes are prepared, let's take a look and give it a taste. So our grilled chicken is done, and that was about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. So I am going to slice this, and let me grab a fork. Okay, so we'll slice this. And one chicken breast on each plate. Actually, let's do it with the knife. And we're going to put a little bit of the black bean and mango salsa alongside. I love the colors in this,
The colors
don't
are
you?
pretty. It's very attractive.
The red, the orange, the black beans. It smells good too, doesn't it?
It does.
So this is our chicken breast with our black bean and mango salsa. And let's grab the other chicken breast. And actually, Tom, if you want to put some of that salad on this plate, we'll put a few slices of this chicken breast on top. Looks good. Let's get a few more orange slices out there. That looks great. That salad is beautiful. Okay, so a few slices of our chicken breast on the side, like so. Okay, maybe one more. Okay, and we can give it a taste, but
Okay.
I guess we need a few tasting forks. So before we give it a taste, let's talk about our wine.
Okay. Fork.
Thank you. If you'd hand me my wine. Thank you. So today we're pairing a Sauvignon Blanc with our two chicken dishes. And the reason we picked a Sauvignon Blanc was this has a high acidity level, which is okay. It won't fight against the vinegar or the lemon or the citrus in our dishes because you want a high acid wine with a high acid dish. So enjoy.
Bon appetit.
Oh, that's great. Shall we start with this one first?
Sure.
We'll try the black bean and mango. Good. And because the chicken is such a nice neutral canvas, it goes really well with the black bean and mango. But again, you can use the black bean and mango with anything. Okay, so let's try our salad. This is one of my favorite salads. So I like the orange. I'm gonna have a little bit of the spring greens with the orange. That's great, isn't it?
I love the dressing. The citrus, very citrusy taste. In
The orange juice, the fresh orange juice.
Terrific.
So some of these recipes maybe have one extra step because you want to juice an orange or you want to juice a lemon, but it makes a world of difference in your cooking when you use really fresh, really high quality ingredients. I'm Barbara Seelig Brown. Tom Beyer and I want to thank you very much for watching Stress Free Cooking today. You can visit us on Facebook, Stress Free Cooking with host Barbara Seelig Brown, or Instagram at Stress Free Cook. Thank you again for joining us. We want to wish you deliciousness, happiness, and health.
Buen appetito, and thank you very much for teaching me so much today.
Thank you for joining us.